Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, who's trying to go see fucking Cocaine Bear? I gotta hit my boys up.
Okay, that's live. Okay, we're live on Twitch now, just so you know. But
We're on Twitch now.
Yeah, the recording hasn't started yet, though, so don't worry about that. The pre-ramble, we always do the pre-ramble.
Right.
Barncat's actually here. He's followed us 6 minutes ago.
Barn Cat.
Nice.
I think I left it very vague and loose, because I know we kind of just vibe off of each other. I think I like doing it this way, where I just have things that are like overarching topics, and we just kind of go from there. Oh, I forgot my drink. I'll be right back, and we'll get started.
Craigslist is really fun.
Yeah, not Craigslist, the website, but Craigslist with wizards. Yeah, dude, that list is the bane of my fucking existence.
I really enjoyed the games I've gotten with it, and just thinking about it. And
it's so good.
Yeah.
He is the wizard. No offense to any other wizard players, but like that guy, he's so committed to making them work, and they do feel really fucking obnoxiously good when he plays them.
Yeah.
Okay. I
know, like,
rough. Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you talking.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's completely off topic, so whatever you're
nothing matter. Just Craigslist. How awesome Craigslist is.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I had a rough fucking day. Like, oh my god. I woke up later than I wanted to, so I was like really pushing it to get there. And
Okay.
you submitted deck list, and I changed my deck last night.
Oh no.
And I went to submit my deck list, and I was writing in certain things. And I'm like, cool, submitted it. Play round 1, absolutely amazing, great play. Round 2, judge comes up and says, we got picked for a random deck check. And it was the only random deck check of the entire day.
Wait, what does that mean? Were you playing Marvel?
No, I was playing a card game.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And so he does a deck check, and sure enough, I forgot to put 2 cards on. So I submitted a 78 out of 80 card deck.
You fucking cheater.
And I got hit with a penalty. So basically, the first 3 hands that I had of that game, I was -1 card.
Oh man.
And the person that I was playing even said to me, "We're like, if I didn't have that penalty, I probably would have won that game." And that just tilted me for like the rest of the day. And I was just like, "Oh."
Well, you shouldn't have cheated.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Wow. Yeah. life's harsh lessons.
That fucking sucks, dude. Realistically, holy shit, that
Yeah,
sucks.
Super rough because I've been like working on this deck for the past like 2 months now, and finally got in a spot where I was like, okay, this is like as good as I can get it. Like basically like the equivalent of like the Mal list. And then I'm just like, that happens, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I can't believe this happened. Anyways, yeah, that was.
That sounds so terrible. That sounds so terrible.
Yeah, no, it was rough. And then like my deck is like very much a combo deck, so it relies on like getting like this very specific card, which is terrible, for competitive play, but it's so much fun. And most of the time it works out for me. Well, today, like after that round, my next round, I couldn't find the card I needed until like I was a third of the way like to the bottom of my deck. And by the time I got it, I just didn't have enough time and I ran out of cards. And then the next game after that, same exact thing happened. I was like, this never happens to me with this deck. I normally have this piece out by like round 5. And now I'm not getting it till like round 15. Like, what is happening? Oh, rough day.
Whew. All right, we doing this?
Yeah, let's crank it out. Oh. Sour monkey tastes so good. All right. Record. Okay, hitting the button.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. world. Touche.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Rogue Agents. We have all three of us here tonight. Hyper Viper, as always, I guess sometimes is represented by Z-Hulk. We need to get a new emoji for Hyper. Do you still like the Hulk? Is he still like your man? Is he? Your
I
man?
love Hulk, but
Is he your
oh,
main
dig at the
series?
stash, by the way, man. I haven't seen that. You can put me as you can use Bill's injured arts face. I'm down for that.
Liz? Okay. I'll leave a note because I will absolutely forget.
No, it's like he just looks cool. I'm looking at Bill's card right now. I was like, damn, this guy looks fucking sick. I was talking to Sam about it before the show started. I was like,
because I wanted to add Logan and Sabretooth to this. Logan, Saber, and injured Bill. Okay, that'll remind me enough. Okay. Anyways, welcome to the Rogue Agents. My mind literally just goes like boop 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 boop, and it's oh man, business has just picked up. Nice. What's up, Barncat? You guys should get to join in on the live show. I'm excited that you're here. And Quag and Riddlesworth. Oh man,
we got the whole crew. Oh, we
got
do
the
have
whole crew. The whole crew.
Bill
All right.
too OP to play. No Bill. You know, I may be a hipster piece of shit, but I'll leave the crown of hipster piece of shit king to you, and I will play Bill.
That's fair. All right. So as always, big thanks to our supporters and patrons and everybody here listening to us and watching on Twitch. If you'd like to catch us live, we are usually We are usually recording Wednesday nights around 8:30. Tonight's a little bit late, or Sunday. God, I am terrible tonight. Sunday nights, 8:30 EST. Tonight's a little bit later, but typically that's the time. Come hang out with us. We enjoy the chat, I guess. Don't forget, Accountability Club has been reset. If you would like to get into Accountability Club, be sure to go and hit the drop-down menu and opt in, unless you are... Who was it? It was...
The Goose.
Who
We had
was
to
it?
manually add him. Just add Dizzard. If anything goes wrong with it, just sign up to Accountability Club. Just add Dizzard. He likes the
Yeah.
pings.
Yeah, absolutely. And then TTS Season X starts next week?
Oh, does it? I gotta make a. Or no, I don't have to make a list for that. I can just show
This is
up.
the second
first
week
game.
of signups. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next Monday.
So
Did I sign up for that? I want to make sure I did.
this is the last weeks to sign up, so be sure to get your stuff in. Hot takes,
I
cold
just have to-
drinks. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just have to like click on the thing, right? The little guy.
I think you just sign up on Longshanks. That's it now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember.
super simple.
Yeah.
There's a
Very-
document for it.
Yeah, I'm
You
very
can find it
much
in the
backseat.
TTS League Discord.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We're at season 10 now, right?
Season X,
X,
because X,
yeah.
like mutants are gonna win. That's why.
Yeah, okay.
Is this the
Uh,
is this the season?
This is the season. Mutants will take it. I don't know which mutants will, but mutants will take it.
I don't know. I don't have any mutants on my list. I'm gonna win.
Better Ray
Longshank
Poe
says
kind of a
that
mutant.
Weapon X. Longshank says that Weapon X win percentage is like higher than Malekith's was.
I know.
Like we've been saying, because Malekith's bad,
And Weapon X is amazing.
but that's just cool.
All
These are
right.
the things.
Hot takes, cold drinks. I have a good old fashioned. I don't have an old fashioned. I said that, and I was like, wait, that's an actual drink. I have a good sour monkey. It is quite delicious.
All right.
Sam, what you got?
I'm not supporting the sponsorship tonight. Tonight is
The sponsors.
vodka soda, no fruit.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice and crisp.
Crisp for a Sunday night. Yep, Sunday fun
Mm-hmm.
day.
Hyper, you got water, protein shake.
I have water. Yeah.
You're so responsible. Okay. All right. Oh, I lost you, Sam.
Uh-oh.
Well, I didn't lose you.
I'm
I just
still here.
I clicked the wrong thing. All right. So based off of a lot of the talks we've been having lately about like evaluating value within your roster, and a discussion that was going on in the patron chat from good old Joey Edge. The barber. Talking about tactics cards and how difficult tactics are these days. So we kind of wanted to break down understanding the value of your tactics cards and what you want to look for, what's good to take, what's not good to take. Not more on the grand scheme of things, not really breaking it down specifically, but Hyper really wants to talk about a specific one. I feel like like it was like I was talking about like let's talk about tactics, and then he immediately says, starts talking about how like this card cannot not be taken, and like,
No, they've taken too much from us.
oh man, I don't think we'll ever. We'll get to it eventually. I have it down here. We'll get to it.
Okay,
So
that's in the notes, yeah.
let's start with this. Hyper, what? Oh my, I did it again. Hyper, what do you look for, or what is a good tactic card? Give me a quick TLDR. What is a good tactic card?
There are two caveats to this. For character-specific cards, if it makes the character that much more interesting, like for example, Lethal Protector, or like this is a robbery, where it's like, oh, this character isn't bad, but with this card, or like Heroes for Hire, like this character isn't bad, but with this card, they like this is something that your opponent needs an answer for. I definitely look for that. If it's not character specific, I'm looking for something that no other card in the game can do.
Okay. Sam, what about you? What is your definition of a good tactic card?
I want something that's going to completely turn a bad situation on its head and turn it into a great situation for me, or at least like negate the ability. I'm looking for like counter spells. Usually, is kind of the approach that I'm looking for in a lot of my tactics cards.
Okay. All right.
Not necessarily just like shh, but like like brace.
But
or
is good.
mission
No more
objective.
just take Scarlet Witch
Yeah.
and Maw, and you can have 2 counter spells.
For sure.
And then your
That's what
opponent
I
plays Supreme Strange, and it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. All right. And then myself, what do I consider a good tactic card or a good one? I kind of wrote down 3 things here. One is something that reduces variance. 2, something that ultimately scores you VPs. And 3, something that is enhancing or moving forward your game plan. I think what you guys said already kind of falls under one of these 3 topics. I think this is like this is like how I look at my tactics cards. Is like, am I getting something that is reducing my variance because I play very high variance teams because I like to kill things. Weapon X, X Force, Mal. There's a theme if you haven't noticed. I really like these high variance teams because it's fun to go roll dice and just like have the highs and lows of the game. But tactics cards like Recalibration Matrix or Inspiring Monologue, or ones that boost your dice or make your defense dice better, basically all those tactics cards that reduce variance, you can't tell me that there's a card that reduces variance that is not a good card. Same thing with scoring VPs. Like, I would even put Jonathan under scoring VPs as a good tactic card. It's a good tactic card. It's got a high cost for it being 2.
Sure.
But when I used to play it, like I would have games where Jonathan would score me 6 VPs, and if I have one card or 2 cards that are scoring me 6 VPs, that's a value in my opinion. What's another card?
You
that
can get it
scores
on like the
VPs?
weak side and the back. It's super good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even if you just use one card for it instead of R&Ding it, and you just do
Yeah.
Jonathan, like that could ultimately score you 2 to 3 VPs, which that could be what closes out the game. It's kind of it's nice. Another really good example is a new card recently that came out is Pyrotechnics. This card is nuts.
Broken card.
This card, this is where I think this, like, you separate like good tactics cards from amazing tactics cards, because Pyrotechnics it doesn't reduce variance, but it helps you score VPs, and it's also enhancing your game plan because it has control into the card as well from the push that it gets. And it's cheap. Like, that card is just bonkers good. So what do you guys think about this breakdown of these like 3 things to look for when you're looking at tactics?
I think I'd add one more category, which is taking the wind out of your opponent's sails.
Taking the wind out of your opponent's sails. Could you be less of a poet?
Well,
Like,
I mean
mental, right?
well, to some extent, but like I think the purest form of this was field dressing.
Yeah.
That's where you just straight up got that hit straight into the vein. You're like, what is this thing? Ah, yes. I remember this great feeling. Like, nothing hurt more in MCP than forgetting about field dressing or missing the play around or missing how your opponent could actually pull it off. I've had a couple of games with like across the table field dressings that I just didn't see coming. And I don't miss that card, but that effect, having that kind of ability just in your back pocket is fantastic. So, like, they're going to come up later, but Brace for Impact and Mission Objective are 2 cards that can wholly take the wind out of your opponent's like sails, because here they
For all
are.
this work.
right? You put all this work into the thing, and Patch Up's another one. Patch Up's another one that's right on that same list. There's nothing like dealing like 5 to 7 damage to something, and then watching them get healed up to 2 or less. Like,
Especially if it's a
all right.
healing factor character. Oh my god, could you imagine
Yeah,
weapon decks have
exactly.
field dressing? Like,
First
give
of
me
all-
field dressing back.
Everything you just said about field dressing, I know Barncat is feeling that in his soul right now. Second of all, healing facting characters are cool, but they're like the wind out of your sails. There's no like more value than doing that onto Juggernaut or my new best friend Beta Ray Bill and healing them for 5. That is just like, I am not going to kill this person now. This is not going to happen,
That's fair.
which sucks.
Hyper, you know what? I'm gonna give you some thunder here. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody like why you love Beta Ray Bill so much?
Okay, so I like Hulk a lot because Hulk has a size 4 throw, he has good action economy, and he doesn't die. Bill is all of that. He does mostly all of those things, especially if you're actually attacking him. He's got aggressive. He's got honor. Actually, no. Let me start over. He's got honor bound. He's got extra power. He's got probably the best suite of immunities in the entire game. He can fly. He can reduce damage. He has Thor's throw, literally exactly Thor's throw, terrain or enemy character, 3 power, throw medium. He's decent into big boys like Juggernaut and Hulk, and he makes your opponent like having not like the madness that is Thor triple throw potential on a size 4 character, but he's got pretty reasonable triple throw chance at like 9 power or whatever, right? Summon the Storm is one of the coolest attacks I've ever seen in this game. It's like
it's literally Storm's builder.
Summon the Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he summons Storm.
No, but
which is cool.
like tell me, like, I keep seeing people say like how cool his like that ability is, but it's literally on Storm's card, except for hers is an area attack.
Yeah, and it's half the range.
Yeah, but it's still a
No,
good
it's like
attack.
a third the range.
Is this a 4 or 5?
It's range 4. It's like
I mean,
a
it's
third
half.
the range.
I mean, I guess it's a third.
No,
but, like-
area 2. Yeah, 3 is
Yeah.
4 inches or whatever, and then 4
But it's
is
still
like 6.
it's still like
That's a lot.
the ability, like the attack itself is still great. It's just his has more range.
Yeah, does hers shock? Is hers energy? Oh, I didn't think so. Is hers 2 power? Anyway.
Wow.
Honor-bound, Bill is literally like, he's a much tankier version of Crossbones, who's also like way more threatening, and he's also immune to Incinerate, which is really important right now for
And
Pyro.
poison.
And Poison, which is always important, and Bleed, which means that even like the other damage immune characters like Kingpin or Juggernaut or whatever, they can reduce bleed damage. Bill literally doesn't have to care, which is so cool.
Is
and yeah,
his-
basically
is
it's the
his,
size 4 throw.
Is his honor bound enemy effect, or is it just any damage?
After an attack targeting this character's result. So if you could attack your own characters, it wouldn't be.
Okay, I haven't looked at his card in a while.
It doesn't say enemy character now that I'm looking at it. So yeah, if there were a way for you to attack your own friends, then he could use that.
But if you get something thrown at him, it doesn't.
yeah.
doesn't
So,
stop.
so
No, it's
throws
only attack.
and he can't
Aggressive
damage.
across the board is only on attacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really hard to put down, and he's not rewarding to even try and put down.
No,
which
I
is
was
sick.
I was asking about the his damage reduction.
Oh yeah, it's just -1 to a minute, or it's -1, and if he would suffer damage, so like it works on cubes, it works on.
Okay, yeah,
all the different
that's what I was
crises effects.
asking.
Yeah.
Does it work on like the objectives?
No, he's got the good one.
It's a nerd to pain.
Yeah, it's the good one. It's Corbinite Cybernetics, baby. So yeah, for the low price of 4 power and a tactics card, Bill can reduce any amount of damage to 0, which is dope as hell. You hit him for a 47 die Helios, he still has Odin's, that shit does 0 damage. You want to talk about taking the wind out of someone's sails? You might as well put your dick on the table at that point. That's so real.
Just nothing.
I
What if you
take
just
0
took my
damage, sir. You know, you have 40 damage. You have 40 damage with dice. I'm gonna Odin's that and take 0. That is the realest thing. But also, I don't know. I love Bill. I've loved Bill forever. I'm glad he's in the game.
I wish Odin's wasn't affiliated like exceptional healing. That'd be so nuts.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about? How would that even
That's
work?
gotta be affiliated.
Any Asgard affiliated character without affiliation can use this card. We would see
Absolutely.
Splash Thor literally everywhere.
No, you'd see
He'd
Splash
be in
Beta
every
Ray.
list. Well,
All right.
we're already gonna see that in my opinion.
All right.
But
So
like,
so here's,
Thor,
here's
dude, you just never play Asgard. You just play Thor and Avengers and be unkillable.
okay. I want to have fun. Okay, don't.
That
I want
does
to play.
sound fun.
I want to play Horseface and have a fun time.
Yeah, I do
Beta
too,
Ray
so
Guardians is
I'm
gonna be a blast.
It is gonna be crazy when he
Okay.
uses that the hammer throw, the summon the storm in Guardians. If you have your winging it, it's
Yeah.
6 dice energy with 4 rerolls. There's like a handful of characters in this game that can take that and not be scared.
Well, I think Agent Venom and Beta Ray for Guardians is like huge, but like I feel like Beta
It's
Ray
kinda
shoves
rough
out
comparing
Agent
Beta
Venom.
Ray. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
rough comparing Beta
Yeah.
Ray to Agent
Venom,
Venom.
yeah.
Like Agent
Like,
Venom's card,
he's-
like the Exodia combos are really cool, but Beta Ray is like the total package. He's a
Oh, yeah.
fucking sick character. If he was 6'6", I'd say he's probably the best 4 in the game. Even at 6'5", with how like not rewarding it is to attack him, I still think he's really, really, really high up there on the
Well,
pecking order.
Here's another thing for you. I think he's actually really good for Suns too, because he's basically doing the same job Hela was, but he actually survives and he's better.
Well, he can't do like turn 1 grabs on side stuff, right? The way Hela can.
With Suns, he can.
Well, no, because he's not a medium base. He's a small base,
Yeah,
right?
I thought he was a medium. No, he's a medium base.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a medium.
I believe
base.
it is. It is unconfirmed, but if you look at that picture, that looks
It's-
like the medium base with the.
That's a complete fucking
the
game changer
reflectors.
because then I thought he was a small
Yeah.
base. That makes Honor Bound so much better.
No, him in general is so much better. He's literally Hela 2.0. Everybody's saying that he's on a medium base. Marquette, he's suspected to be on medium. So like him on a medium
okay,
base
that's crazy.
makes him amazing in Suns. It makes him literally like the best eyes on the prize target.
I don't know.
Because
No, Angela still can do like way crazier. Like she
I
can
guess
grab
that's,
a
I guess yeah, I guess
opposite
Angela's
throw,
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she needs.
I'm ready
RP
for
that
dude.
too.
Is Dashguard 2.0 is coming, baby.
I
I'm
wanna
here
hear
for
that.
it.
All right,
You
let's
do
give
wanna hear
let's
that.
give let's give y'all horse gold diggers. Yeah, you're great. All right, so here I'll give Hyper some more moment to shine in the sun. You had mentioned when we started talking about tactics cards about mission objective. Do you want to talk about why you're so adamant about this card and why you really wanted to talk about it?
So Brace is in a really like I know I'm talking about Brace, but I promise to talk about Mission Objective. Brace is in a really weird spot right now, where it's basically required for every list. The problem is if you ban Brace, then suddenly all those characters where you need to force Brace like halfway through the game become even more powerful than they currently are. Hulk, Angela, Thor, these characters that have really fairly cheap size 4 throws, Juggernaut, they suddenly go from being like this character is already really good and I need to play around their throw with Brace to I just lose characters turn 1. Like I'm just losing characters. I think Brace would be perfectly balanced at like 2 power costs, but we just saw it reprinted twice, so we know that's not happening. But anyway, mission objective. I made a fun little trolling post in my little SoCal Discord, which I love to talk shit in. I said, hello friends, I have a new roster base for all affiliations. Pyro, Rhino, Juggernaut, Voodoo, Jessica Drew. Thank you, see you next time. People did not like that because all of these characters have steel bullshit, except for Juggernaut, who's just generically good. But anyway, with all of those steals, everyone besides Black Cat and Enchantress, their steals work by dropping the extract, which is great because then they need to pay one to pick it up. I think that's a very balanced way to do it. I hope if they errata Black Cat, instead of making her steal an action, or Enchantress's steal an action, I hope they just change it so that they just drop the thing instead of just taking it, because taking it breaks a lot of like the fundamental rules of the game. Mission objective is a way to get around that. So right now, mission objective is also in a place where like it's pseudo required, especially with what I think is coming, which is like steel meta, with Rhino and Pyro about to become like uber popular. But mission objective at least once per game gets around that. So now we have a similar situation to Brace, where you spend the first like third of the game playing around that one card. Because if you didn't have to play around that card, you could just abuse these steel mechanics and win super easily. So I'm like, if they ban, what's it called? If they ban mission objective in the same way that if they ban Brace, it's going to be a problem. Like the meta is stacked on those 2 cards in a really big way, in my opinion. but among other cards, of course. But those two are like some foundational mechanics right now.
Fair enough. I don't really have anything to contradict that or anything like that. I do think Mission Objective is a great card, and it's even better now because, like what you said, of all the stuff coming into the game or already here that has all these drop mechanics. I completely agree with what you're saying.
I mean, it scores your VP, right? Category 2.
Yeah,
It's a category 2 tactic.
Absolutely. Category
It's a
2
category 2.
and 3. Category 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that it's reducing variance too, because it's
It
a drop,
absolutely is.
and you
It's
wouldn't
a
know where
super
it's
safe
going,
card,
and now
yeah.
you do. Yeah.
No, that's like when I was playing like Broken Tier Sam when we had like Brace and Field Dressing, I would take Brace, Field Dressing, Mission Objective, Avengers Assemble, and Heroes literally every single game, and it was just so hard to break that core.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kinda
Craig
interesting,
in
'cause, like,
chat is
this-
right. The only carry one. Sorry to interrupt you, Diz.
You're fine.
The prevalence of can only carry one does help with Mission Objective, but
Yes.
Eyes on the Prize,
Eyes.
true OP. I do love Eyes, and I want to believe that I'm like one of the pioneers of Hulk Eyes, and it makes me very happy because I had that idea last LVO, like last January. But yeah, can only carry one does help, but it also just means that you have like one person carrying the thing and their buddy all the time, right? Their buddy who's not carrying the thing, which is often how it was before. Because if you had someone carrying like 3 things, I would still run Mission Objective and just like give 1 hammer or 1 cube away to reduce how big of a swing it was.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It makes me consider, like, because I don't have Mission Objective currently in my list, and I'm strongly debating about putting it in.
It's a crazy card. I mean, when you're running like Weapon X, I get it because it's just like one dude kicking
Yeah.
ass.
Well, like that. Not only that, but it's like,
all over the place.
but it's like Weapon X. Like you don't really run in pairs at all. Like everybody's really like on their own, except for like maybe 1 pair of people.
If you're not running Honey Badger, I agree.
Yeah, like they're very spread out, so Mission Objective becomes incredibly hard to play. I'm also though like looking at like Spider Woman and Weapon X. I think fixes my issues, just because of the fact that like Interrogate's huge and it helps them keep up with the VPs and being able to shock some
Shield.
beams.
She's gonna be so good in Shield.
That too. Yeah.
That's where I see her like really shining. Like hot take on Spider Woman.
I know we've been doing hot takes like crazy. I was gonna hit.
Well, it's hot take season right now, right?
I
We
don't
got all
know.
this like stuff coming in. Like,
Honestly,
I'm
I
not-
think Spider Woman's good, but she's gonna be like a lot of the other spiders where she's power starved.
I don't know about that. She's got a range 3 builder that is
Don't they
nuts.
all?
Fair.
I mean, yeah, her builder. It doesn't have sap. It's still just 5 dice. It's a good energy type. I won't fault you there, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like classic Wolverine, where like depending on your first attack, that really dictates how the rest of the game is going to go for
Oh my
you.
god, is she a mutant? Is she like canonically a mutant?
Oh,
Or is
she's
she-
she's 6'5", just like Bill, dude.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
I'm kind of hype on that because we have like they're learning so well with how they design characters. I love to see it. But no, she's not a mutant. She's a government Hydra
Okay.
experiment,
Okay.
Yeah.
and she's also like, hear me out. Especially with this costume, she's gonna be an Avenger.
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all? All right, so let's get back on topic here. Where are we at? Okay, so how do we determine which tactics are best for a roster of similar characters? I think going down a list, kind of similar how we did it with the characters, is probably the best way to do this. And I think rule number 1 should always be remove all the bias that you have with everything. I think this is the same thing that went with characters. The same thing goes with tactics cards. Any like decision with your roster, you really need to look at it without bias, because then if you go into it thinking like, oh, this in the past didn't work for me, or this is just a trash card or a trash character, you're going to instantly just not think about it, not want to deal about it. So remove all your bias before you even consider building a new roster or looking at anything, because I don't know, like Mission Objective was okay. Like it's been the same card forever, but the
Yeah.
meta changes and then it becomes like what you're saying, like this is going to be like a must take card. So like if people are like, you don't take Mission Objective anymore because there's no more single extracts. People were literally saying this across the internet. I saw it multiple times. I'm sure you guys did too. But then that immediately increases a bias of, oh, Mission Objective is a trash card now. So why would I take mission objective? So I think when you go into looking at building your roster, you really need to remove any bias that you have with anything and look at everything with a fresh light when you are building a new roster. Would you guys agree with this?
I don't do it first.
Oh, I
That's
know
like
that,
the
like,
last.
should-
That's like the last stage for me.
Should you though? Should you be removing your bias before you begin building your roster?
I honestly like when I built like I'm gonna pull up my Cerebro right now because I never
You're
like
not wrong.
I never reorder shit when
Yeah.
I'm building a list. So it literally goes like I do characters that I know I want. I do affiliated tactics. I do character affiliated tactics. I think about restricted, and then I see how many slots I have left, and then I'll throw in shit like mission objective. Or Eyes on the Prize to me is a Hulk card, so that's already in there. But like mission objective, I'll take like Mark for Death, Escort to Safety, stuff like that, like generically good cards. And those cards often don't make my 5. It's just like I basically have slots at this point.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes into like my next point of this is like what affiliation tactics are like the must-haves? Like what must you have to play your affiliation? Because I
There's an
started
easy
looking
answer
around
right
with
there.
like Brotherhood and like if you're not taking mags, do you really need Asteroid M or well, Magnetic Refraction you absolutely don't need. I know people are gonna say like why would you not take mags? But like that's just a key example is like if you want to play Brotherhood without mags, why are you taking Magnetic Refraction? Why are you taking Mothership? Where are you
Yeah.
getting that enhanced game plan? Where are you getting that score MVP or reduced variance? You're not getting that anymore as much as you would with mags, and it creates other options for you. So that's where I go. Like I'm gonna remove my bias as far as like what I think is bad and good. Look at it with a fresh slate, and then I'm gonna look at my affiliation tactics cards because I'm playing that affiliation for a reason. Let's take their tactics cards, unless you're playing X Force. Then we're gonna go ahead and
Captain Mouse is all right. I want to push back a little bit on the remove all bias as like
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
first
go
phase,
ahead.
because like I feel like your bias is like really like that's kind of what like makes you the player that you are. Number one, it's not just bias, it's not just subjective opinion. It's also like all of your experience. So I think that if you have like a history of like this card being ass, then like maybe that's not a good card for you and how you like to play.
I mean,
and the
you're
other
not
thing is that
wrong.
with that in mind, right? So like I think that affiliations are maybe biased towards certain tactics spreads. And so like if I remove all my bias, like okay, like maybe if I'm like literally starting fresh, like it turns out that like Bill is Guardians affiliated and Agent Venom is Guardians affiliated, and I want to start off with like this completely different Guardians roster that's like Star-Lord and those two dudes with at an 11-point core, right? Like I'm gonna just like break brand new ground for playing Guardians. Maybe I need to like take some bias out of the equation. I'm not gonna just start with Dynamic Duo. But at the same time, if I'm if I'm not doing that, if I'm like I'm gonna play like some like 8-point Guardians core, like I'm gonna be like, well, okay, so Deadly Duo, that's probably the first card that's going in, and that's bias in my opinion. So
Okay.
I think that
All right.
removing all bias is number one, super duper hard to do, and second, like maybe you're taking some of yourself out of that equation.
All
That's
right, let's do this. Let's do what you said earlier, and we'll put remove bias at the bottom. We'll make it remove
Boom.
bias and reevaluate.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, you like that? Okay, you're gonna go blank on the screen here for a second while I type on this.
That's fine. And I agree with you
Remove all
guys about
bias
like
and reevaluate.
going into like affiliated tactics next and like affiliated and character cards, and then like at that point I'm looking at restricted. I don't want to say that I undervalue restricted cards because I definitely like almost always want to have my budget for
Fair.
them. But
So-
at the same time, like I don't know like where they really fall in. And so my question for you guys in this, right? So like here we go, like off to the side of this, well laid out order of how to evaluate stuff. Are you guys? When do you do like your crises? Because for me, a lot of my building is like crisis based, like from the start. Like I'm just like, what am I playing on? That's the most important thing.
I typically go characters, and then crises, and then tactics.
It's a hodgepodge for me, for what it's worth. Go ahead, Hyper.
No, like I bounce back and forth. I think I honestly do crises last because I'm like, okay, what does this team that I've just built excel at? And then I try and put them in environments that they'll do very well in.
Yeah.
For example, Avengers love Madmen because they all have 4 physical, and they have a decent number of characters who can get 2 power a turn,
Yeah.
or just like be able to do something like that. Asgard for the same reason. So Mad Men's also like probably my favorite Crisis in the game, even though it's fucking burned me so many times.
Same.
So when I'm building lists, it's like, is this a list where I want to have pay to flips? Is this a list where I really, really, really want to avoid pay to flips? Like if I were playing Magneto Brotherhood and this was like 6 months ago, I'm not taking Sword. That's just not going to happen. Yeah, I think I do Crises last. It's like what yeah, like I said, the team that I built, the tactics that I built, what are they going to do best on? And then from there I can find like, oh, I don't really excel at any Crisis. I've just made this team that's good at this kind of like play style. So let's change things up a little bit so I can try and make myself better at such and such.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So,
I'm
I
kind of
think-
with Barncat here. He says affiliation crises used and splashes determine the tactics. So that's where I say like tactics are probably like the last thing I come to, because it's like if I'm playing, let's just say Honey Badger, I throw Jonathan in as like I have, because like typically I'll take like my characters and then what crisis I think I want to play, and then I'll throw out like a big list of tactics and start trimming. Like I'll throw out everything, all the tactics that I feel like would be good with this list, and then start to trim. And then I'll throw out like Jonathan for Honey Badger, and then it's like, well, I'm not really running any non-pay to flips, so Jonathan's just kind of a dead card, so I'll take out Jonathan. But it is really a constant reevaluation and bouncing around. But I think like the core root of the roster for me is characters, a base level crises, and then a base level tactics, and then it's fine tuning, bouncing back and forth.
Okay. No, I can dig on that. So for me, it's a little more iterative. Where like I kind of look at the crises, and I look at crises in two different ways. I usually start with crisis for what it's worth. I look at it, and my two questions are like, do I want to play on this? And the second question is like, what's good on this? and then I want to find something that like maybe the field I don't think is going to be super great on it, but like I can maybe bring some people that I think will be fantastic on it.
D shapes.
Yeah, there's usually at least one, and so then I bounce back and forth between like different like options, right? So usually I can settle on like two of each, like two secures, two extracts, and then like the third one gets like really like in flux, and then I pick some characters that I think will be good on these, and then I like pick like the set of characters that's like actually characters that I want to play or an affiliation that I want to play, and at that point then I'm like starting to move back and forth. The one thing I think we can all agree on is that team tactics are like the icing on the cake of your roster.
Yeah.
It's like both like the most beautiful thing and like the, I don't want to say the least important, because like they're super duper important, but like when you just look at the cake, like there's so much more meat that goes into that cake than
I will say I don't really like meat on my cake.
body.
That's like,
I don't know.
that's more of like a savory taste with my sweet taste, and I don't think they mix
Fair.
as well. But I do have a very important question off of that. What's your favorite type of cake?
Good question.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
Red
like,
velvet, yeah.
get out of here.
Same thing.
Just like chocolate?
Double, triple chocolate, man. Yeah, like just like,
Hell yeah,
like,
dude.
just bring it on.
Oh my god.
Chocolate
more
cake goes
chocolate.
hard sometimes. Yeah, every
No,
once in
you
a while. I just
know,
want some
no,
basic shit.
no. You guys are both wrong. The best cake.
It's red velvet. Yeah.
No, the best cake in the entire world is like traditional carrot cake.
I do like carrot cake a lot.
That's a good cake.
That was my number 2 for sure.
But like it has to be
Fair.
traditional, where it's got like the actual shredded carrots in it and raisins and nuts.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it has to
yeah.
be like a traditional carrot. Like how many times? Like when's the last time you went and bought a carrot cake and it actually had like shredded carrots and raisins and nuts in it?
What? You don't make your own cake, dude? This
I
is
can't
weak.
make a carrot cake. Can you make?
Why
can you,
not?
Okay, I
You can actually. You
Literally, yes. I don't buy baked goods. I make my own.
Google that shit.
Google that shit.
I
Well,
haven't
so, like-
bought baked goods
like-
since fucking college,
so-
dude.
Okay, so like the commissary here is actually really good. They have a really good carrot cake where it's like actually
Oh,
the
nice.
traditional carrot cake. But every time else I've gone and bought like a carrot cake, I'm just super disappointed with it. Like I'm just like this is not carrot cake. It's got to have like the cream cheese frosting too. Like
Oh
man,
yeah,
I
mean
really want
that's
carrot
why
cake
like
now.
that's cream cheese frosting is why red velvet and carrot cake are so fucking bomb. That shit's so
Yeah.
good.
100%.
However, cream cheese frosting doesn't go on chocolate cake. That's terrible. That sounds like a
No,
terrible
that would be
combination.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gross. All right.
Even-
This has been the Rogue Agents, and
We can talk about cake now.
all right, we are now a cake podcast.
Cake podcast.
Best cake. What
Best
cake is
cake.
best?
Carrot cake.
All cake is good.
All cake is good. Pie or cake? That's the other question. Pie or cake?
Pirate cake?
Pie or cake?
Oh, pie or cake?
If you could never have a pie again in your life, or if you could never
wow.
have cake again in your life, which one would you choose?
Wait, so how far are we going with pie? Is pizza a pie?
No.
A pizza pie.
Pizza's not
Okay.
a pie. We're talking about like
Okay.
dessert pies.
Okay. In that case, I'd probably go with pie because I think pie is probably like a healthier thing overall than like cake. So maybe I'll be able to like live on, fruit preserves instead of eating just like sugar.
Well, I mean, like you can like eat regular food. It's just if you had like
No, you can't.
oh, okay. So it's just pie or cake for the rest of your life. But like, I'm agreeing
Yeah.
with Craig. Like pie is not healthy. There is so much more sugar in pie than there is cake. Like
Well, it's like
is-
literally
Pie-
this, and it's the
is
same
it
amount of
not
butter,
healthier?
but it's just like condensed
Mm.
down into
Yeah.
the crust.
I
Yeah,
feel like
there's
they're
the-
equally bad for you. I don't know. Frosting
pie-
is a lot
pie-
of shit.
pie is I mean, frosting is pure sugar, but like pie is like so full of like you have so many I guess carbs in cake too, but it's like a different type of carb. But it's like pies, even if you have like nothing but like a berry pie, there is so much bad like confectionery sugar in that berry mix. And then like you're
Well,
probably
you
gonna
don't
have
use a
frosting
mix. You
on
just
it.
make a mix. You make it out
No,
of
you
regular
no.
fruit.
When you okay, I want you to go ahead and make a pie, and like
Okay.
just put berries in it, and
I
then
will.
You guys ever
tell me,
watch The League?
and then tell me how it tastes. The League,
will.
yeah, it's been years since I watched it, but I know what you're talking
I
about.
love that fucking show.
When they get that bag of cocaine and dude thinks that it's confectioner's sugar and he's making all of like their everything with the confectioner's sugar in there. It's one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen on TV.
Cocaine Bear.
Is that when? Oh, dude, yeah. Is that when Taco like has the cocaine seat and he's just sitting on the toilet for like 8 hours a day?
I don't, man. That it's been a long time since I watched that show as well, and it's interesting the things that stand out to us after 10 years.
It's a good show.
No, I don't remember the cocaine toilet seat though. I do
like
remember
Taco.
Taco was
Cool.
great.
Yeah.
My face.
All right, now I want tacos. Let's stop talking about food.
Okay. So
Oh.
back to Beta Ray Bill, the new king.
Back to the horse face. But no, okay, so let's get back to this list of how you should look at, or a recommendation of how to look at your tactics cards. So yeah, for me it's affiliation tactics, and then I look at restricted. I get like what I think are the restricted that I want with the list, and I think this is also something I kind of want to challenge people to, and I know I've challenged people to do this before. Is try not taking restricted with your list, and just like see how it feels, because more and more like AMG has been doing an amazing job with character tactics cards, and they are so strong coming out now. Like Pyro, like I would rather take Pyrotechnics than Brace in a lot of my lists now.
You're crazy.
I am, but especially with like the prevalence of Brotherhood right now. But like that's just I don't really do that. I take both. I do take Brace and Pyrotechnics. But like
That's
I
fair.
think my point stands that like there is an argument where Pyrotechnics outweighs like some restricted cards. Like it definitely outweighs. If I was between Disarm and Pyrotechnics, I'm taking Pyrotechnics.
I know I have a record of saying this. Like when something new comes out, I'm just like, well, why don't you just kill it? I feel that way about Pyro. So far, that's played out pretty well for me. He does not
I mean,
have
he's
the defensive tech that like your Black Cats have.
I
He's not
agree.
survivable like Voodoo can be.
But that's the best-
Often isn't,
but-
but can be.
But that's the
Yes.
best part about Pyro is you can typically pull off Pyrotechnics hitting 3 people round 2, and he's not dead.
Yeah.
And that alone is huge
Yeah.
because it's displacing the people round 2 and dropping objectives. So if he's like the last person to go on round 2, that's a huge VP swing.
Dude,
Yeah.
the fucking the fire manipulation proc.
That's so dirty. I love
It's
that. Thing.
one of the most like nightmarish things I've ever put in this
He's
game.
gnarly.
The ability to almost for free spread one of the most dangerous status just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think like incinerate immune models like Voodoo and Beta are about to become really big, like not just because it's really good and they can fuck around on demons, but because they're immune to Pyro. And otherwise, Pyro is just like, well, I'm gonna set your entire team on fire, steal everything, and also I might just kill you. Why is he immune to fire but not lightning? Because he's not scared of lightning.
Barncat's scared shirtless of Dossier. Why are you scared of Dossier, Barncat? Because like I'm actually at the point where I would rather take certain cards over Dossier because like
Dossier is great in the tall versus tall. Like when
It's
you,
cool, yeah.
you like narrow
But,
into
like-
narrow, but like
But after that, like if it's like let's say like Dossier, like Weapon X into Guardians, I'm not taking Dossier. And with how people are building lists lately, like I find it more often than not, I'm not taking Dossier because it's just too hard to actually play.
there's
Toad or
always a
Widow,
trash
because-
activity.
yeah.
There's always somebody for them to put it on. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Toad or
really
Widow or
that's-
Black Cat are just gonna sit
Well,
in the corner with an extract the whole
Shield
game.
grunts.
And that's fine,
Shield
yeah.
grunts are fucking
But-
hilarious.
but it's
Holy-
like-
You put it on shield grunts?
yes,
Oh, it's so dumb.
or ninjas,
Yeah, because they just
yeah,
drop it
better
wherever
on
they
shield
want.
grunts though, because you can just
But-
like, you can just drop it away from them when they kill you, and they're just like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
But like I love Dossier because Logan and Sabretooth and even Deadpool love picking it up. But I got to the point where I was just like, this is just a dead card most games nowadays. Like people know how to play around it now. When it first came out, it was great because nobody knew how to play around it. But now every time I play it, it's just like it hurts more than it helps. And I
you
just
can't
don't play
focus on it at all. It just
Yeah,
has to like
no.
fall
And if
into
you-
your hands.
And it's like, yeah, if you try and chase down a Dossier, how many VPs are you giving up to chase that Dossier?
Yeah, they can
down?
play around that so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's like the chimichanga. It's like you can focus on it, but do you really want to?
The fact that you have to
Yeah,
play around it is the problem. Not really. Like what are you as the person not playing Weapon X? What is what is making you have to play around it, other than like, oh, Logan and Sabretooth are just gonna kill this model?
Yeah, it's not even that scary. It's, you put it on like a 2-threat, or you put it on like someone who's actually really tough. And
Yeah,
it's like,
you-
all right, come get it.
I put on somebody who doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
like somebody who's like Widow. Widow's an amazing target for it because if she goes down, she probably did her job. She flipped something and then ran to a corner.
Yeah. Dossier is awesome when you're like playing into Mags Jugs Thanos. Like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna
Yeah.
put that bad boy on? Who gets
I
it?
honestly, I love what's the word I'm looking for? Black Widow. And as we're gonna get off topic, we're talking about this card right now, Dossier. But Black Widow for me has really become like the difference between her and Toad is like half an inch. She is insanely good.
I was saying
Long
this
move
back
on
around the
two-threat
time
is
of Nova.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
Nova, I dropped Toad for Widow, and I said Widow
She's
might
so
actually be one of the
underrated.
better two threats. Yeah,
I'm
Like,
running them
she's
both
secure
right now,
Toad.
but I'm so happy with both of them.
yeah, she is secure Toad. And then like just like Juan is support Toad. And Badger.
No,
Yeah.
they're totally different. There.
No,
you can't.
Juan.
You, no, you
Juan
can't do
is
Centerline grab
no. You
Juan.
can totally no. That's fine. But like they're
Juan
doing
has a
different
job.
things. Yeah, yeah. Like so,
Well,
here's the thing.
He has a job to do
Toad?
for sure.
Well, yeah, but then
Toad?
they're
No,
not Toad.
No. Yeah, but nobody's Toad. But if you're gonna say Widow is secure Toad, that means that so Toad is Toad, Widow is secure Toad, Rocket is Pew Pew Toad, Juan is
You
support
can't just
Toad.
replace the word 2-threat with Toad. That's not how this works.
No,
Yes,
it's
you
best
can.
in class. He's
Yes, you
replacing
can.
best in class with Toad,
Oh, okay.
right? So
Um,
he's saying best in class pew pew, best in class support, best
Oh,
in
yeah,
class.
because Toad is best in class
Yeah.
too. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
So all the twos are role players.
yeah.
They're balanced. They're beautifully balanced.
All right, let's get
Besides
back on
Toad,
topic of
Toad.
how we evaluate our tactics cards in our list.
Toad's breaking his shit.
If you
Fuck
guys
Toad.
didn't know, we're talking about tactics cards this episode, and pie and cake and Toad.
Are we?
Yeah. So, anyways, we go down affiliation tactics, and then we get restricted / character because I think that this is like I like to look at what restricted cards would be good for this list, and then we go to character cards because those are so huge in this game. I put a little note here. If you look at a lot of character
Yeah.
cards, AMG has been doing an amazing job making characters cards so hard to not take. Like pyrotechnics, I can't imagine why anybody would not take pyrotechnics if they're playing pyro. I can't imagine somebody not taking what's the rhino card that's stupid.
This is a robbery. Breaking
Yeah,
and taking.
whichever
This is a
one.
robbery.
Yeah, like the
This
one
is a
that's-
robbery.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. Double
Drop and drum.
agent with Spider Woman is stupid. Like, how many decision points
Yeah.
does double agent provide for your opponent? Where you're like, I'm gonna make you decide your fate this round with this card. This one card is gonna make you make a bad choice or a good choice, or both bad choices. Tactics cards that are coming out right now are so insane for characters that, like, they borderline effectiveness as much as. You guys got a song request for the night? What?
I don't know what that means.
Oh! He's gonna go do karaoke. He said.
Oh man. Secret Agent Man? Barncat, sing Secret Agent Man.
Agent man.
And record it and put it on the Discord.
There we go.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love all of this. So you say so after character cards, generic cards.
Yeah.
These are like maybe less important now.
Yeah.
Like if you still have space for this.
No, you don't, which is why they're at the
You
bottom.
have like what one? Like you have maybe one or two at this point, right?
Which is going to be mission
And then-
objective and probably recal. Like,
Or
I think
escort,
those-
yeah. Recal
yeah.
and escort are both really good.
Fallback. Fallback is
Yeah.
super duper good,
Uh,
especially if you're. I don't know. That with mission objective is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it
When you
is.
need
The
it.
problem with fallback is fallback came like everyone got really excited about fallback right when Malekith came out, and we immediately went to Malekith mode instead of being like, okay,
no,
yeah,
no. Fallback was huge. in
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
It was Daredevil.
It was Daredevil.
yeah.
That's how you get around the rapid fire meta. And
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
like, wait,
but-
what if there is no rapid fire meta?
But now
Because
it's like it's slowly sinking. I mean, we don't have blind obsession anymore, so rapid fire isn't
Yeah.
like the game-breaking nonsense it was, but it's still really good. I don't know. I haven't seen fallback in a while. I also haven't been playing with randoms that much. I play with like my sparring partners.
that's fair. Dum-ba-da-bum.
So yeah, but I do think generics are the last thing you look at because it's like, what else can I try to squeeze in here? And then does this value my roster more? And we go back to looking at our first chart where it's like, which one is giving me more bang for my buck? It's like, does double
Yes.
agent provide more of these points for me than mission objective does? No. Okay, mission objective takes the spot for double agent, and that's kind of like how you need to look at it is, applying a value to your tactic card with this one reducing variance, scoring VP, enhancing game plan. What was the fourth one you added? I forgot what it was. I didn't write it down.
Oh, wind out of your sails. I don't know. Like just it's not
Disruption.
disruption. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hooray.
So 4 disruption. And then like whichever one gives you more of these points is obviously going to be more value for your roster over the specific one. So if you're looking at it like, and I have a roster, like no, we have this. We'll go through a little exercise here on this. We'll run through this little chart we got on this segment we got coming up. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this is a good, like, I guess, flow chart for evaluating the tactics you're trying to take in your roster? Is this something that you guys think you're going to start using and looking at? I think I am, definitely. But
So the one thing that's not on this list that's something that like I do when I'm trying to figure out like do the actual tactics pair down because I have a similar approach coming over from card games. It's really
Yeah.
easy to just be like grab a stack of like 22 tactics and be like, well, I'm gonna have to get this down to about 10.
yeah,
And you just kind of whittle it down slowly. So one of the things that I do is I actually try to make tactics hands.
yeah,
So you want to make tactics hands for the teams that you think you want to bring, and I think you can be very surprised at some of the cards that don't actually wind up making the roster if you take that approach because it's a lot. I don't know. It's a lot easier and a lot more useless.
it's
to
like one
just
of
like
my-
make 10 tactics cards. Like
when am I
that
going to be
go with the
taking
roster?
all of these at this
Mhm,
time?
right,
Like what is
exactly.
my core? Basically, like what are my core characters? What are my core cards?
Yep.
Like I think Weapon X is a great example of it because you're playing Weapon X, you're going to take memory most of the time. You're going to take exceptional healing 100% of the time. You're probably taking no matter the cost. You're probably taking brace. You're probably taking like you're already at 5 before you even consider the scenario.
I think I mean you go back to like Convocation release, like from like the Convocation was the first one where it was like this is a brand new affiliation. These are like a bunch of tactics cards, right? Because like
Yeah.
X-Men got like 3 tactics cards that were affiliated tactics, and like that's cool, like that's enough for like almost everybody. But then like Convocation has their like
A
assortment,
lot. Yeah.
and then Shield came out, and Shield had even more, right? It's like Shield's literally like you can just run 10 Shield cards, and like grab a couple from the core set, and like you're covered. So I think that the more modern your affiliations releases, the more affiliated tactics are going to take up space.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like if you're playing X Force, you're gonna take 1, and then you got all the room to play with tactics. So
Right?
shouldn't
And you don't even
X-Force-
take that one every time.
Yeah, and so shouldn't X Force just be the best if tactics cards change the game that much?
No, because
Maybe
all the good generics
maybe-
have been banned,
maybe
or
having
rotated out, or restricted.
maybe having like not so great affiliated tactics cards make the value of your team go up because you're able to take these broken ass cards. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back on the X Force train, you know, because Beta Ray Bill and Spider Woman under Cable sound kind of fun. But I'm already at 11 points before
But
I'm
what
even
does that
bringing
add
affiliated
to
characters
them?
in.
What does it add to X? Or what does X Force give them?
That's not important to this equation.
Ouch,
Reroll.
brother.
A reroll.
Ouch.
A reroll. It's a
Oh,
wild trigger.
man.
Fishing for a wild trigger on one of Bill's attacks, right?
Yeah.
don't think
Hawkeye.
That
All right. So
for you? We have Hawkeye at home.
We have Hawkeye at home.
all right. So I think this is gonna. I think we got a good rundown here, and we got this new segment. We talked about how we're gonna try and do different segments every week, so that way it's not like the same thing every single time. And we got this idea from Sure Thing. Big shout out to Sure Thing. And he also titled it for us. He called the Analyze and Annihilate segment. And basically, what it's going to be is we're going to have listeners submit a roster. We're going to take the roster. We're going to analyze. We're going to annihilate and annihilate it. We're going to analyze and annihilate it. And I think what we'll do is when we get down to the tactics session, we'll go ahead and take this process that we've developed and put it into action on the tactic card down here to kind of show like it in the process. I guess that'd be kind of fun. That could be. It
Yeah,
could
let's
be
do
fun.
that. Do it.
So what we got here is characters. We got, they called it the Hood. It's got Jugs, Mystique, Magneto, Pyro, Blob, Toad, Fury Senior, Black Panther, Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Rogue.
Oh, is this is a Sure Things list, right?
Yeah. So off the bat, like you see, it's very much a Brotherhood list with a potential flex to no.
No, it's for Brotherhood for sure.
Yeah, it's just Brotherhood. So like you see Mags, Mystique. It seems very, very, I would say, objective and scenario focused. With the characters in here, like every single character in here is scenario based. Black Panther, long move, one of the most mobile characters in the game. Sam being able to push people off points. Rogue has a good throw. Blob doing blob things. Toad extract things. Pyro doing pyro things with pyrotechnics. Magneto doing Magneto things, and Mystique doing Mystique things. And to me, this seems like a very, very like objective based roster. My immediate thought, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but it almost seems like maybe there's too much of objective base and not enough like I to me, like, this is a very survivable team, but I almost want to like say like this doesn't really have like I don't see. I'm trying to think how to word it. Sam, I know you know what I'm trying to say.
So, all right, two things. Number one, let's just read the whole thing, right?
Okay.
Juggernaut, Mystique, Magneto, Pyro, The Blob, Toad, Nick Fury, Black Panther, Captain America, Sam Wilson variety, and Rogue. Those are the characters. Tactics. Actually, you know what? Let's save tactics for last, since we do those last. Secure Crises, Infinity Formula, Riot Spark, Cosmic Invasion, Extracts, Struggle for the Cube, Skrulls Infiltrate World Leadership, Spider Infected. Tactics, Eye in the Sky, Do You Know Who I Am, Magnetic Refraction, Mission Objective, Deception, Asteroid M, Pyrotechnics, Brace for Impact, Patch Up, right? Since we're all going to retain that with perfect information for the rest of this conversation.
I could just.
I'm sure we'll put this in the show notes or something and probably put it up on the live feed.
There we go. It is pulled up now. There we go.
All right, nice. So yeah, okay. So this is very much objective focused. I personally am not a huge fan of including both Toad and Nick Fury in the same roster because I feel like they're doing a lot of the same job.
Yeah, they're
unless
like
you're actually trying to leverage Fury's output.
Well, the only thing I can see is being able to threaten multiple sides with the grunts and Toad. So it's like if you don't have priority, you're really asking the question of your opponent to be like, which choice are you going to make, and are you going to pick wisely?
Yep. But then you got Panther too, which is also kind of like
more
a
of the
different way to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I would say pick one of those. Personally, I think that in a Mystique team, you want something more survivable.
Yeah, that's
so
what I was
I
looking
would lean.
for. Yep.
I would give the look over to Panther over Fury.
As
I
much
maybe
as
throw a Hulk in there.
as much as we've been mentioning it, I actually really like Beta Ray Bill for this over Fury.
They do different things, but I don't disagree because I like Bill.
Well, maybe
I don't
maybe,
like 3/4s in a roster either.
maybe
Yeah,
More often than
Bill.
not.
Maybe
Yeah,
Bill over,
I was talking
okay.
about like when he takes Panther over Rogue. I wasn't getting a straight answer because he built this list dojoing against me a lot of the time, and Craig
Okay.
as well.
All right, so here it is. So take Bill over Panther and Hulk over Fury.
Well, that
Because-
doesn't change the fact that. Or I guess that you're taking out Fury. I think Fury stays. It just. I would ditch Panther for someone. I don't know that you need Hulk though when you have Juggernaut.
But I like Bill for this list a lot because Eyes on the Prize is in here. Oh, Eye in the Sky, not Eyes on the Prize.
He doesn't.
I saw Eye, and I immediately thought Eyes on the Prize. But like I think if I agree, I do think it has one too many fours for how costly the list is in general.
Well, he runs Mystique 90% of the time, so Magneto
why-
you can kind of ignore.
So why even take Magneto? Like, why not just make Magneto?
This is
something-
we've been having this conversation.
You,
want
you have to.
force
You still
Magneto
have
a lot.
to. It's,
I agree. He's too
it's
fun.
it's the flex. It's the flex. It's the fun, and it's just like it's the threat, right? So even if you like have no intention of playing Magneto, so long as you don't walk up to every opponent and during the pregame, you're like, yeah, I just brought him because I
Yeah,
just brought him.
I will say in all of our dojo sessions,
He's a feint.
in all of our dojo sessions, he's never played Magneto. But I'm
Right.
sure that's not true if you talk to Craig because Craig plays Wizards.
I forgot that he had included a list of things he's considering and processing. Number 1, really likes Mystique's leaderships and has been having a hard time finding times or when he really wants to bring mags. 2, Mystique leadership is very fun with sturdy long movers bopping around dropping the token. Do I have too many of those? I think we answered that already, actually. Without even seeing this question. Like, there might be too
No.
much objective play. What?
Yes, but there's not too many. Yes, there's too much objective play, but there is not too many tanky long movers.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe you keep Panther because he is tanky. I think Fury. I don't know. I feel like Fury needs to be the one that changes because I like Panther
No,
here.
dude, Fury's so fucking good.
Remove your bias. I almost called you.
It's not biased. This is me having played against. This is me both having played against this list specifically and played against a lot of Fury in general. Fury is just good.
Craig says out on Rogue. I think Rogue's actually really good though because she is survivable.
I don't think
and she's
Rogue is
affiliated.
crazy. Yeah, I would
I think-
ditch. I wouldn't ditch. I would ditch if there's a 4 in this list that I'd get rid of. It's Panther. I think Fury and Rogue both have great spots here.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I will
So-
buy that for $1. So let's sure thing. Look to Panther for your drop. What you changed it out for, I don't know. Let's see. Hulk. Okay, just take Hulk.
I don't hate Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, Hulk also improves your mags plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulk
That's-
Mags is fun. Hulk Mags, what's his name? Juggernaut is very sad.
And you can go nice and wide with Mystique under that plan too.
Yeah, Hulk under Mystique is insane.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Wait,
was it Panther?
Do I not see Scarlet Witch in this list?
No.
Bro, why'd you take Witch out? What's going on? The only time he ever killed
it's-
my Hulk is when he played Witch.
It's a note. It's a note down here. Just give me a second.
Witch.
Mystique leadership is very fun and sturdy. Oh, we talked about that. Okay, is patched up the right second restricted card. We'll go over to tactics specifically with this whole load chart we created. Rogue / Witch / Mags kind of fighting hard for spots. I think if you have Hulk in here, your Mags game gets better. I don't know how you bring a Witch in here though with everything else you have. I think if you want Witch, it's either Juggernaut or Witch. I think, and I think Juggernaut is just better for the current meta. I think everybody would agree with that.
Or it's no Hulk.
Yeah,
I
or it's
think
no Hulk.
you can field Juggernaut and Witch
Yeah.
under Mystique with no Hulk. Like you can do that.
I think
that's
you
a play.
take. I think Witch goes back in here over Panther, but that's just me.
Okay, I actually can buy that for $1 only because Witch is kind of insane in the current meta because of the normal.
She's ridiculous. Yeah.
And the Mystic attack, you're really lacking Mystic attacks here. The more I look at it, so yeah, I think you actually.
Wait, do you have it straight 0 right now as is?
Yeah, there's no Mystic attacks at all.
Yeah, you put Witch back in the list,
Yeah,
bro.
so Black Panther for Witch. Okay, and then Craig has been convincing me rather successfully to consider pay to flips. Madman would probably come in, but for what? I think if you're bringing pay to flips, you're probably
Well, he's only got 2 secures right now, so I could see Madman going in there.
He's got Infinity Riots and Cosmic.
Oh, there's this weird space there. That's why I was confused.
I'd probably drop Riots. I don't really see a great Riots plan here, and there's a lot of people that like Riots that you really don't want to go into. Like, Riots is insane for Weapon X, it's insane for Red Skull, and you don't want to give them that edge. So I would honestly drop Riots for Madman.
Does Mystique love D's?
She likes
Yeah.
B's more than
She likes-
B's, I'd say.
She likes D, but if you can play good on a D, you have an upend on your opponent. If your opponent's not
If
so
you can play good on a D, like you have an uphand on your
Yeah.
opponent.
But like if you're gonna throw in, I guess with Witch, D kind of like loses favor. So maybe you just don't want to play Ds. So maybe Riots becomes Madman, and like if you had Hulk in here, then your D game is really really good. So I think with like Witch over Hulk, maybe Infinity. Keep Infinity. Riots becomes Madman, and Cosmic. Maybe. What would Cosmic even be?
I like Scoundrels.
I was
I
gonna
like
say.
I like
Okay,
I
I
like
was-
Scoundrels
honestly-
in general.
Well, he also
Honestly,
has Sam.
I like
Mhm.
I like Invasion over Scoundrels. I don't think Scoundrels is bad. Honestly, I think Scoundrels is really good. But Scoundrels, like action economy, the only character you're really worried about that, or one of the characters you're really worried about that on this list is like Blob. And Blob's, if he gets pushed off, he can use the spinner to get back on, clear that point. I think Invasion would be the one D that I keep. I do really like Madmen and I do really like Scoundrels because when you go as wide as you can with this D, it's really hard to beat that on Scoundrels.
Also,
Don't you have the same problem with Blob on
Blob's super slow on Ds.
Invasion? Because he's
Yeah.
still gonna get and
That's
and
what I was
he's
talking
slow.
about. You get pushed off and you jump
Yeah.
back on. But if you get pushed off, you get 2 power, so you can jump back on.
That's fair.
That's fair. Oh right, because he's got the big splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
his
Yeah.
spinner,
So
the range 3.
So
Mhm.
Riots for Madmen, keep the other 2. All right. What else has he got? This is for LVO. Okay.
So no Bill.
and no
so
Weapon
Bill's
X.
not-
Oh man, that hurts,
And
bro.
he said he doesn't have the Weapon X box.
Wait,
so
is
that's-
Weapon X banned at LVO?
No. It's just he
No,
doesn't
he uses
have the
another
box. So otherwise,
You can borrow mine if you
I
want,
would
man.
instantly say Sabretooth over Rogue. But
All right,
Nah,
so
dude.
I'm gonna tuck
That's
Sabretooth
crazy.
into my bag for you.
Sabretooth over Rogue is insanity. I don't know about that.
Sabretooth is nothing but value.
Not
Yeah,
over Rogue.
so is
no.
Rogue.
Just
Rogue is
in the
nothing
Fury
but
or Phantom
value.
slot.
Well, okay, so I would go Sabretooth over Fury then.
I still think that's crazy, but yeah.
I'm crazy.
Okay, when you're playing Brotherhood and you have no room for card slots, do you want to take another character who needs at least 1 card?
He doesn't need any cards.
You don't
you
need
don't-
exceptional on Tooth?
No, you don't need exceptional
That
too.
big health bar? Okay.
You
No,
don't
seven,
need it.
7 health in the front.
Yeah.
He's not the one who uses it.
Yeah,
Like,
you want
play
to throw
Weapon
Logan
X,
at
like,
23.
it's not on him. Yeah,
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're weirdly fragile.
yeah.
Like,
And
the
Tooth,
difference between 6 and 7 is insane.
It
the
is
fact
really
that
crazy. Yeah.
Tooth is 4-3-4, so it's like
Mhm.
his
His
weakest
defense is good.
defense. His weakest defense is the less prevalent damage type in the game. So it's just doing your matchups right.
Unless you're bringing OG Strange or Cable.
yeah, then Tooth is just a
Give me
sad
some
boy.
fatty 5-thread leaders.
But yeah, like Sabretooth is like super fucking good. We got a question about that we'll get to later. But yeah, so Extracts Cubes. I think Cubes is fine for this list because Jugs is stupid on Cubes.
If we can get Sabretooth in here, I think that
Yeah.
Cubes has. I don't like Cubes personally, for
Yeah.
what it's worth. I get what you guys are saying, and I'm not going to say that anybody's wrong here. Cause
I think
I think that Cubes is like legit, but there are so many teams that are really good at Cubes, and I don't love
So-
Cubes here.
I think Cubes is only good for this team if this has pyro. If this team has prio. If it doesn't have prio, you're probably losing your Cubes game. I think that's just Cubes in general, to be honest. Because there's so many teams that are, like you said, that are good at Cubes right now, and it all comes down to who has prio. So you can just get screwed by the pyro rule. Like, oh my god. So I do think Cubes is one that could potentially come out. Scrolls, I think a lot of people say Scrolls is really, really good for Brotherhood. I don't disagree, especially because Deception's a monster. Spider Infected, I like Spider Infected more than Cubes, and your team doesn't really care about being moved because Juggernaut will just move himself, Blob can move himself, Toad can move himself.
I like Spider Infected and Scrolls here more.
No, I'm saying I like Spider Infected
Yeah.
because of the fact of how many self moves are in this list.
You're just embracing those, like the awkwardness there. I think
So-
that Cubes is where you want to find something else.
So I think for Cubes, I think honestly looking to I like Creekor lately, to be completely honest.
I was gonna say, like what about Creekor? What
You're
about
not super power rich aside from Mystique, who just kind of gets it by shooting people all game.
Yeah,
Right.
So core should be fine.
yeah, I like
Although
Core.
I don't love the C because like this whole setup excels at like grabbing shit and kind of bailing. So like
But the
F is
thing-
the ideal.
Well, C,
shape.
you're always gonna you have Mystique, so you're always gonna be advantage on C when there's only
Oh,
3.
deception. Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
So you're always advantage on C with Mystique.
Unless they grab it and walk back.
But
you can't
Mystique
do
is
that
still
with the core.
Mystique.
There's
is still
a handful of
deception.
characters who can do that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if it's like an Angela or something, she can definitely get back
Yeah.
into range too. With somebody.
Fair. I like Krikor for this list because like if you're playing Mystique, I think Krikor is just like a shoe in for me. Remove the bias. But I love I love Krikor for Mystique games because like any C shape extract, Mystique just excels on or hammers. But I don't think this is a hammers team, and like you don't have the punch to like really make hammers worth it. I like Krikor, to be honest. I would do cubes for Krikor. It's the same threat value, so you're not really changing anything. All right, tactics.
It's still damage. It's still damage. I don't know. I keep forgetting that you can't only move once now on the alien ship on the Krikor, which makes it less appealing. If you're trying to strand somebody in the middle and then deception them like out of position.
Well, just do senators then.
I think senators.
Is it trap?
Senators is such a fantastic
Dude,
scenario.
Senators is
It's up
fucking
there with
wild,
hammers for me
honestly.
right now.
It's
Like like that one
crazy,
and
yeah.
hammers are my two favorites.
It's
Where I'm
so
just
well
like, I
designed.
love this so much. Like it's just you just get in the mix and you
Okay,
do stuff.
you know what?
And then the game's
Okay,
over.
here it is. I think you do senators because pyrotechnics on senators is going to be amazing because everybody's stuck there. In round 2, you'll have 3 power to hit 3 people.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I'd say okay, cubes for senators. Yeah.
I don't hate it, but see, this is also why they can't play. No, I do disagree. We've been through this. Craig, my fellow dojo guy, is keeping me in line. Senators is bad for this list. There are so many points, but you don't want everyone going into the middle, especially if
Right.
it's like a
No,
pay
you
to
don't.
flip for us senators. Like, yeah, they have to go to the middle, but here's the thing: the only gun they have is if they swap back in
They have to play
Scarlet.
Magneto.
Yeah.
Or Witch.
This is not a list that really wants to fight. It wants to grab shit and like make you come at them, like with
Well, we
Blob.
told them, but we're telling them to put Witch in there.
Okay, that's still one character, and you're super shoelining your game on a 19 point with 6 just extracts on the table with a character who'd just be shooting people.
Fair. Okay. Then what do you recommend he takes over cubes?
We were saying we like ship, right?
Yeah,
Let's just do that.
I still like ship. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Ship it is.
All right. Tactics.
Ship it.
Now-
It'll be it's a place where you can actually play Magneto, which is sick.
There. All right. So tactics. Let's just run through this thing. What's number 1? Number 1 is affiliation tactics. What must we have? We have Mags, and we're saying Witch. So Asteroid M is absolutely going in this, right?
Yeah.
You have Mags, and you plan on playing him because we just said Krikor Mags, right? So that means magnetic refraction is absolutely coming in this.
You need that. Even if Mags is just a feint. Like I think you should still bring refraction at this point.
What
'Cause
other
it'll scare Barncat.
what other what other affiliation tactics do you have? You get books, which I don't think this list really needs because you're not really a punchy team.
No.
So books is kind of out. What's the other? Is there another affiliate tactic? I think that's it, right? Just Asteroid M.
Well, refraction's not even affiliated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Magneto.
Oh, yeah,
reactivate.
no, you're not. That's a trap.
That's not happening though.
All right, so check 1,
Is it?
affiliation tactics. Check Asteroid M and Asteroid M. Restricted cards. He has Brace for Impact and Patch Up. I think Brace is good here because you have a lot of characters that really don't want. Actually, I don't know, because Blob can tank a hit, Mags can tank a hit. Mystique and Pyro are like the only ones who really don't want shit thrown at them.
Yeah.
I've,
He
honestly,
was running Brace Sacrifice for a bit, but Brace Patch, like patching up Juggernaut, is such a fucking good move.
yeah,
It is,
Brace,
and
I feel like
Patch Up-
that's what you do now.
And then-
It's Brace Patch or Brace Sack. Like
and then
that.
Patch
Oh,
Up
for
is
sure. Those are the two.
Patch Up is great for Witch, which should be thrown in here. And
Yeah,
Brace
it actually,
on- yeah.
The idea was like this was a while ago, but he was running Okoye, as a second two to
Yeah.
keep Witch alive, which I really liked. And then he switched it up to just during Sacrifice, and he even tried out Colossus for a bit.
Mhm.
I do think attack redirection is really important for when you're taking Scarlet Witch. But I don't think it's like entirely necessary because if Witch isn't holding anything and they're hyper focusing on her, that's kind of fine. She's diverting a lot of attention from characters who need to hit pretty hard to actually be able to
Right.
kill her.
Fair. Okay, so restricted brace patch up. Disarm's not really useful here at all.
No.
RNG
RNG
is
's
not,
not
useful
necessary.
at all. Sacrifice, you don't really have a good sacrifice target, I don't think. Like Rogue and Jugs are probably like your only good sacrifice targets, but Brace
Yeah,
and
or
Patch Up
Toad.
are just more beneficial.
Just like someone who's not holding shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brace and Patcher is better.
Yeah, so I think if you're
Like
taking
patch up
restricted-
Magneto, patch up Blob, patch up Juggernaut. Like all of those are like patch up Black Panther if
Yeah.
he's still on the roster. Patch up Rogue. Like all of those are super frustrating for your opponent.
all right.
Like you just watch this guy go back to full health, and you're like, well, that was a lot of work for nothing.
And then we get character cards. Deception is an automatic shoe-in. In my opinion, Pyrotechnics is an automatic shoe-in. Like I just think it's too good. Magnetic Refraction.
Deception Part 2. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, do you know who I am? Actually, I've been very much. I think it's great here because you have Deception and Do You Know Who I Am?
Yeah.
But I think like
Yes.
I don't think Do You Know Who I Am is as auto-include as it used to be.
It's not.
But
It's
I
not.
do think it's
Craig
really
doesn't
good
take
here.
it a lot of time in convocation.
And that means I don't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my point here is I do think people need to start looking at, do I really need Do You Know Who I Am with this list? This list, I do think you want it just because of everything. This is an objective team. So you're
If
using
Jugs
it-
is in every if Jugs is like an every game piece or an almost every game piece, like I think that Do You Know Who I Am has a lot more value than if
Fair.
you have like one specific play that you put Juggernaut on the table to do, or two specific plays. Like he comes in to play this role. Like
Yeah.
maybe you don't need him then. Maybe you don't need his card then.
And then the last character card in here is Eye in the Sky, which is great because if you're playing an objective team, it's going to be able to keep you holding the objective. It's basically like mission objective, but don't die first.
Also means you have to be playing Fury.
Yeah, true. Is there any other character cards that are interesting here? There's like the Leapfrog is not very useful here.
It's a trap.
Rogue's cards aren't very useful here. So I think all the other character cards really don't care for. And then we go to generics, where we have mid objective, which again, this is an objective team, so that's instantly providing value for our 3
Yep.
points. It's got this scoring VPs, enhancing your game plan, and disruption, in my opinion. I think that's the only generic he has in here besides restricted. And like, I don't think of another
Yeah.
generic. that
Refractions. I think Refraction's not technically affiliated. It's like
Yeah.
Eye in the Sky.
That's fair, but it's a character card though because it has to be mags.
Yeah.
But as far as generics go, I think mission objective is like your go-to here because this is a very, like we said from the beginning, we looked at the roster of the characters and instantly thought this is a scenario team. So mission objective just makes perfect sense here. So I, in my opinion, wouldn't change any of these tactics. Would you guys be in agreement?
I think the tactics are not the part we're looking at really. This is a
Yeah.
fine set of tactics.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think the Fury or Panther decision.
It's not a decision.
All right. So
Well done,
our
Okay.
analyze and annihilate segment, which we're gonna need to figure out how to do this faster.
Timers. I think this needs time. This would be a great
like
segment
a
for
round block
timers.
timers.
like
I
maybe
agree.
like a 10-minute timer, and we only get 10
Yeah,
minutes to do
per
it.
section. Yeah, like characters, tactics, crises,
Okay.
and just go hard.
Yeah.
All
Or
right,
even
so-
just like 3 minutes each.
Yeah, 3
Something
minutes
where it's
each.
just like bam, bam, bam.
All
Like,
right.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I like it. Okay, so TLDR. What was it? Panther for Witch, Riots for Madmen, and Cubes for Creekor. There you go.
I don't love the feeling of dropping Panther and adding Madman, but it's fine.
That's
you
fair.
still have Fury.
You also have Rogue.
Yeah. But I mean, Panther and Rogue on Madman. It's like
We did say too much of the
feeling
same.
more advantage.
Too much
Yeah,
of
that's
too
true.
much. All right,
Speaking
so
of too much and objectives, where's Rhino?
where's Rhino?
Why not? Why not Rhino instead of Fury?
Go
Why
away.
not Rhino instead of
It's Brotherhood.
Panther?
Do you know how many cards those people have? don't have
All
room
right.
for robbery, even as good as robbery is.
If you drop Fury, you drop Eye in the Sky, and then you have
And
robbery.
pick up
We're
robbery.
not
Yeah, there you
dropping.
go.
We're not dropping Fury.
You're not
Fury's
dropping
so
Fury,
good.
but I might drop Fury.
Fury's not even in my LVO list. Full disclosure.
All right.
I had to
let's-
drop Fury and Vision from my LVO list. It hurt my soul.
All right. Let's
Booty's
go
that
ahead.
good, huh?
Let's go ahead
Yeah.
and get into listener questions. We got one from Joey Edge. Just listen to episode 30 and want your opinions on B maps versus D maps in regards to X-Men and Brotherhood. Is it more difficult for opponents to split completely up since the B maps are so spread out? I find myself having a much better time playing with either of the mutant teams on B. Technically, D is more spread out than B is. But I do think X-Men get an advantage on the more spread because of the X-Men hop. But I do think all the mutants are really good at both B and D. I just think X-Men definitely get the advantage on D shapes where Brotherhood is not due to the hop and tactics.
I think they're both more advantaged on Bs
Yes,
than they are on Ds.
I would agree, but I do think X-Men take it over Brotherhood on D.
On D, yes, but I would prefer to run a B with both of them. Like when I was running the last X-Men build that I was running, like the last time I was seriously running X-Men was Mutant Madman and Infinity and Spider Portals.
Yeah.
Because it was more important to have a flip than it was to not have a flip, but I liked the B shape best.
Fair enough.
Now, there's plenty of other things you can do with that. I'm sure I moved on to meteors, I moved on to sword, I did lots of other things, but I think the Bs. And I know every time I've played on Brotherhood, the question for me has been B or E. I think the E's got a lot of fun, but I like to play like beat 'em up Brotherhood. But the B's are still real good.
Beat 'em hood.
Well, I think about the B's are a little bit rough sometimes because you can't actually get across with a small base, long move.
Well, that's where X-Men
but-
excel is because you got the hop.
Yeah,
And the,
X-Men can.
Yeah. But I do think for these teams, Bs are more good, or better, or gooder. But I do think though, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If you can take a D and like really fine tune your game plan on that D shape, you're instantly more advantaging your opponent. And I 100% think that.
I think for X-Men, you probably just want to run all flips at this
Yeah.
point.
I agree.
Agreed.
Hardcore. Madmen, sword, spiders. Call it a day.
Sword burned me too much to really care to run it. Still, it's
I don't know, bro.
Sword
You
is-
can still run
sword is
beast
still
last
sword.
activation and still just double hop on two of those
It's-
things.
yeah,
I
but
still feel like
sword-
that's good.
sword still just hurts my soul.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. That's why it's good. It's ridiculous.
Fair.
It is like it's got one of those like the great equalizer feelings to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also like if there's any list in this game that's gonna dominate sword, it's White X-Men, and there's no question. You know,
That's fair. That's
except
fair.
maybe if Bill's on a wide base, Asgard might be coming through.
All right. All right. Our next question is just Rory. You guys going to do a pre-LVO event about your list or so and what you're thinking you'll see? Be
I'll do
cool
a
to
post
release.
LVO event, bro. I don't know about pre.
All right, there's your answer. We'll do a post LVO.
I like his idea about doing meta hot takes though. Like I don't know. Like personally, I think it's going to be a crap ton of Brotherhood. I think that
LVO's
we're going to
next
see
weekend, isn't it?
No,
2 weeks.
we got a little more
2
time.
2 weeks.
All right. So next week you want to do a meta call?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure,
Next
we
week
can talk about how wrong we
can
were
talk
the week
about it.
after. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
going to
It'll be
be at
super
LVO,
fun.
so there's going to be no show that week most likely. I don't want
Alright.
to speak out of turn, and then the week after that we can chat about it.
All right. Meta
Yeah,
call next
I'm
week.
pretty sure I'm getting on an airplane like around the same time that
All
we
right.
would normally
I
be
might
recording.
be bored and I'll just find some random person. And
No, do it up, bro. That'd be
I'll see what
awesome.
Omnis. I'll see what Omnis is up to.
I'm guessing he's going to be at LVO.
He'll probably
Yeah.
be
You should
yeah, you're not
somebody
wrong.
who's not at LVO.
Be out to dinner with me or something.
Who,
Yeah.
who isn't going to be at LVO? Hit me
Craig
up.
is not going. Craig's not
Craig,
going.
Craig, you want to do an
Craig.
episode next? Not next, but LVO weekend. You want to
2
do one
weeks.
with me? 2 weeks. Hit me up, Brad. All right, Draz. Season X of the TTS League begins soon. Can you each give me one hot take and one cool take on how the meta will shake out? All right, let's do this. Weapon X. Weapon X. Season X. One hot take. Mutants are going to be freaking everywhere between Brotherhood and X-Men and Weapon X. Like, there is going to be a shit ton of mutants. That's my hot take. Cold take. Mutants are going to be everywhere. They're going to be X-Men and Brotherhood. And...
Dude, it's fucking time. Like they had last year, no one was playing them. X-Men were like
Yeah.
quote unquote bad. I'm ready for X-Men.
I am too. I'm excited. I love mutants. Like, mutants are my childhood for Marvel, so I
I'll
love
go
all them.
last.
All right, go ahead. What you got?
Hyper, what you got?
Yeah, hot
What
take,
was the
cold take.
question?
What's your hot
Oh,
take
hot
and cold
take,
take
cold
for
take.
season X?
I think Malekith is gonna be underplayed because people are fucking babies.
I agree, 100%.
And then my cold take. So what does cold take exactly mean?
Like something that like is like a proven. I think of it as something that's like almost a
we're gonna
for sure.
see a
Like a
lot
hot take.
of
A
Red
hot take.
Skull.
A hot take is like your emotional opinion, and a cold take is
Right.
something that you thought about.
Well, these are both kind of like what I think is really going to happen, but I think people are going to underplay Malekith. Malekith's like he was never
Hold on.
good, but he's not bad now. And then
Yeah.
New Skull is going to be everywhere.
Okay. I think that Rhino's going to be overplayed, and I think that
Oh, yeah.
Malekith is like still a force to be reckoned with.
Malekith
Agreed.
for sure. Rhino
Alright.
is going to be overplayed 100%.
So
Mhm.
here's what you got from this little bit. Not enough Malekith, too much Rhino, and mutants everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds accurate for season.
No,
Yes,
okay.
I think that's
Actually,
good.
this might be not really a hot take, but like definitely in the because it's so fucking tough to do these because now we don't have set lists anymore, which I don't understand. But whatever, it's a different topic. When we do the first cut and we actually get to have some data from Xavier or whatever, Pyro in the top 5 usage.
I would say top 2. Like I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if Pyro is the most taken model.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I could see that. I'd say top 5 be conservative.
Actually, you know what? Toad will probably be like Keen again.
It's fucking mutants, bro. I swear, Brotherhood has the best splashes. Juggernaut's probably gonna be up there too. Those are the 3 I take.
And Mystique,
Syndicate.
Mystique,
a ton of
Toad,
Syndicate.
Pyro, Jugs. Yeah, those easily could be top 4 characters taken, 100%.
Wild shit.
All right. From Bloondy, today I saw a game where Apex Predator Tooth pounced into a car, giving the other Brotherhood character power. Can you explain the flavor behind Tooth headbutting a car so it explodes, making the others more powerful?
Dude,
So-
they're all laughing at him.
Well, no. What it is Victor. Victor has such an ego that he's like, I'm gonna headbutt this car and see what happens, and and you guys are gonna think I'm a big old dummy, and then they get cocky, and then he just kills them all.
I think that he headbutts the car, and like the car blows up, and everybody thinks it's funny. That's all.
I don't know. I still like I don't.
Fucking idiot.
If it were named something different, like if it wasn't, because when you say Brotherhood of Mutants, everyone thinks Magneto.
Yeah.
Magneto famously fucking despises Sabretooth because of the mutant massacre. So I always get weirded out playing Sabretooth under
God, I want a
Magneto.
freaking Morlocks. Like, give me a Morlocks
Yeah.
affiliate. Sorry.
Hashtag Lexo White. But
I
anyway,
mean, Sabretooth, Sinister, and Gambit. Please give me a
those are
Morlocks
not.
affiliation.
That's not the Morlocks. That's
Yes,
the
it
Nasty
is.
Boys.
Well, that's what I want.
They killed the
Well,
Morlocks.
that-
It's the opposite of the Morlocks.
no, but like that's what I want though. I want
It's the guys who killed the Morlocks
Yes,
in the Mutant
that's-
Massacre.
that is I don't care about Morlocks. I want the people that killed the Morlocks.
You want the Nasty Boys. You want the opposite of the Morlocks. Yeah,
Yes,
I gotcha.
that's what I
just
want.
love that you said that you want the Morlocks and then mentioned 3 people who fucking killed them and experiment on
But that's
them.
that's what I want. I want the killers. I want look at who I play. I want Sabretooth. Give me an affiliation with Sabretooth, Sinister, and Gambit. That would be
Yeah,
sickest.
that the crew from the '90s X-Men show, all those like wacky dudes who are the Nasty Boys,
Yeah.
Hairball and Slab. Those are some cool characters. I would love to see them in the game.
What's the Earthquake guy? What's his fucking name? Seismic?
Avalanche, but
Avalanche,
he is
that's
not. He's brother.
No,
he's
he's
not.
not. Yeah,
Nasty
yeah.
Boys.
I was just like, I don't know why. Every time I think of that show, he's like the first thing that pops in my mind.
He looks cool. He looks
Yeah.
like RoboCop.
Fair. All right. Last part to this. Second question: why is Apex so strong?
Every
Because
good ability in the game.
AMG is compensating and trying to make everybody happy with Logan and Sabretooth.
And they still had to make Sabretooth better.
And they had to make Sabretooth better. I don't know. I think Logan's better still just because he's consistent.
I mean, dude,
Tooth-
Sabretooth's pretty cool.
But-
7 health's
okay,
a lot
so-
of health.
Here's my thing is Tooth is such a high roll character. Like his variance
Yes.
is out the window. You
It
can have a
really is, yeah.
game where Tooth like feels subpar. You can have a game where Tooth feels like he killed everything and everybody else in your list sucked. Like that is Tooth in a nutshell. Where Logan, you know what Logan's gonna do every single game, and you know it's going to work.
The Vroom Vroom card for Logan is unreal.
Gotta get some air is like one of the best cards that came out recently, in my opinion. I love Gotta Get
it's
Some
an
Air.
insane card.
All right, what do you guys think? Why is Apex so strong?
It's cool.
Every good ability in the game. It's
All right.
this card.
Yeah, he got. I mean, his dice addy thing, like it could be cheaper, whatever. Sure.
Sure.
That
but, like,
ability's a
yeah.
trap. Don't ever use it.
I agree. His pounce is fucking nuts. His throw
Pounce
is
and-
really good.
Like if you have
Because yeah,
if you have the power, you're pouncing and you're throwing. Don't boost your dice.
Yeah, for sure.
no, and they forgot that the short move tool exists when they
Yeah.
made his card.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, everybody else has a short pounce. Well,
What about
Well,
his
like-
size 3 medium?
And then they did the same thing with Juggernaut too, where he has like or Rhino. Rhino's got Juggernaut's charge, but it's once per turn, but it
Yeah.
goes twice as far.
yeah.
right.
They short tool doesn't exist in the recent packs. All right, last
okay.
question. Matematic. I think we answered this already, but let's go ahead. Which affiliation has the best pool of affiliated characters of each threat? Brotherhood.
Ooh.
Like Brotherhood has some of the best threes. I mean, X-Men does too. Just mutants in general.
X-Men
because,
does too, yeah.
Like Mystique, 23, Pyro. But like if you look at every single threat, 2-threat Toad, 3-threat Mystique, 4-threat Sabretooth, 5-threat Jugs, 6-threat Mags. Like they have just top tier characters across all the threat values.
Yeah. It's probably Brotherhood. X-Men also very good.
Yeah, I'd say X-Men's there.
Avengers literally have everything.
But like there are 2 threats Badger, which isn't a bad character, but she's so specific where Toad can just be taken anywhere. Badger is not taken anywhere. 3 threats, they
Oh.
have 23, 4-threat Logan, 5-threat Cable. They don't have a 6-threat.
even just thinking about affiliations from that perspective, I think is actually a really good way to just as a thought exercise. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, because like if you look at like the example that he gives is that Guardians have the best group of 2s. Well, I mean, I'm looking at Rocket, I'm looking at Nebula, and like they're pretty good. But then that makes me think of like Bullseye and Bob.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a really interesting like just that your affiliation has access to multiple 2s is kind of like a feat in and of itself.
True. But I think with the current meta, Toad is back on being king of the 2s.
Yeah, Toad and Widow, Wong are my top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think Nebula and Rocket are great 2s,
Yeah.
but you don't see them everywhere like you do Toad and Widow.
I think once Bill comes out, I'm gonna play some Guardians. I actually have my
When do you
Guardians
see
painted
Widow
up.
everywhere? Do you see Avengers everywhere?
Well,
That's
they
fair.
also splash Toad.
All right,
Yeah.
he has a second question. If you could add a new special condition, what would it be? Hyper Viper.
Oh, that's a great question. A new special condition. What would I do? What have we not already seen? We have lowering attack dice. We have lowering defense dice. We have auto damage at the end of your turn. We have less power. We have other kind of less power. We have cost more power to do stuff. I'm trying to think of like other negative things you could really even have in this game. Like,
Why does it have to be negative?
Yeah, well, can't we do like a positive negative? Like it could
because
be.
then it's not really it's not a status condition then, right?
Why is it?
What if it is?
Like,
Well,
let
it
me-
must be like putting that
like-
on your friends.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
how
'cause
about
you could-
this?
You could,
Okay,
you could
here we
flip
go.
that script
Here we go.
entirely.
Okay, here we go.
I've
Okay,
got one. I've got one.
Forge gives you an upgrade token that is a condition, and once you use it, it's gone.
So how about this?
Well, doesn't that just be like a token like we've done for everything else?
You're not wrong.
What if there's
but-
a token that's like a stagger token that's a condition, right? It's like hand out a condition to a friendly character that's like a stagger, so it has to be shaken. But then on your next activation, you get an additional action.
I like that. Like the Doctor Strange card in Midnight Suns, where you lose one action but get 2 more next turn.
I
I
don't
hate
hate
that.
it at all.
It's a good game.
I think
I
a
like the
positive
idea-
a positive special condition would be kind of cool, like something that like does something
That's
like
an interesting design space. I was thinking of a condition that makes that like when you attack someone, your opponent gets to choose the damage type.
Hmm.
Like that as a status effect, like some kind of like techno-organic virus where like you get to choose the attack type they're attacking with. So you're like, oh, I have really good mystic defense. Your attack is now mystic
Right.
against me.
That'd be cool. That'd be interesting. Neat.
Positive special condition. No, that's interesting.
Another
Well, I
positive
like
special
Sam's
condition
idea.
that would be cool is like a repulsive shield, to where if you basically like blob, but it's a condition. So like somebody hands it out to
Jesus
somebody
Christ,
else.
dude. What's wrong
I
with
could
you?
see the Forge one just being like that upgrades. Like
Yeah.
I could see something like a Forge upgrades being
Like plus one
like
die.
change the attack type of this attack
That's true. Yeah, change it.
on offense or defense, right? So
Like shake this condition, gain an action point, and choose your damage type for your next.
He gives you
attack.
Krakoa guns, yeah.
oh my, yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
put it all together.
I was
Um,
talking about this with Craig recently. Nico Minoru could be a really cool card with just like a bunch of abilities on her card that are all single use, like tactics cards, but all ridiculously powerful.
I mean, that could be Phantom X too. That's why I want Phantom X so bad. Well, because
I
Eve,
don't-
like
I
you
don't
have
know.
Eve.
Oh yeah, but her whole thing is the staff of one. You can only use her powers one
Yeah.
time. That's why I thought it would fit like lore wise.
Well, I think it would fit.
Phantom X, I think I could do a lot of like bullet time shit with Phantom X.
I want Phantom X so bad. Anyways, before I go down another rabbit hole, it's hard to get a new special condition because they kind of have like everything covered already.
That's what I was trying to like. I was listening through my head, and, like they have a lot of stuff already. Like,
Yeah.
what was the last new special condition we got?
Poison?
We've had poison forever.
Yeah, but we haven't got a new condition in forever.
That's a very, but like we had Hulk was immune to poison like right after the course.
Yeah, but we didn't know what poison was for the longest time.
I feel like Judgment is the most recent.
Yeah, true,
And not
Judgment.
because it's
That's
actually the
wild.
oldest, because that goes back to Ronin. But it always felt like it was just a thing that was on Ronin
Yeah.
until we started seeing it more.
Ooh, a reverse judgment would be cool. Like you don't gain power from dealing damage.
That's true.
Ooh,
There we go.
Yeah, that's unexplored space.
We got one. All right. Sam, do you have one, or are we going to be good to... 'Cause I
No,
can't think
my
of it.
stagger, my anti-stagger, the one where you
I like
you
that
get,
one a lot. Yeah.
you basically you're paying an action forward to a subsequent turn.
Fair. All right. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on tactics cards or anything discussed?
Come play season 10.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we have been the Rogue Agents, and you have been the listener.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Maximum effort. In this war, there's no surrender. He's not alive, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky?
You don't like a fair fight.
I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touche.